Hello everyone, my name is Gus and today I'm here to talk about the Halcyon Symbios computers, both the handset and the HUD or heads-up display and also the transmitter. They sent us all of this and I hinted this on Dive Talk Plus a few weeks ago. I was able to take it out on a dive trip, the Dive Talk Meetup actually, and put 22 dives in 1 week with this computer in both open circuit and closed circuit. This right here will be an abbreviated review of what I thought of the computer. If you want to see a full review, like really full in depth, maybe me talking for an hour, I'm yet to record it, but I will be comparing this computer with the flagship Petrol 3 from Shearwater, which is kind of like a world-class leading technical computer from Shearwater, which is the computer company. And then the X50i from Garmin, this is their flagship technical computer as well. So I will be comparing it with those two models. This video, as short as I can keep it because I like to talk a lot, just about the Halcyon Symbios. I don't have a script, but I did write down 3 things I like and 3 things I didn't like. There's a lot of things I like and some things less that I didn't like, and all of it will be on Dive Talk Plus. I will link to the video at the end of this one. Make sure you check that out and also subscribe to Dive Talk Plus for more videos like that. But anyway, let's get the price out of the way. $1,200 for the handset and $400 for the transmitter. If you buy them both combined, then you can get a deal on that. It's $1,450 for both of them. Again, I will compare it with the prices on the other companies on the other video. So if you want to see how they stack against the competition, go check it out. Spoiler alert, is lower than the price of both Shearwater and Garmin. And for what you get, which is Halcyon quality, which that is its thing. It's like saying Ferrari quality or whatever, Rolls-Royce. Everything Halcyon makes is super high quality, and that is no exception with the Symbios computer. Really, really awesome. They kind of knocked it out of the park with this computer, especially because it's the first one they bring to the market, and they are already competing with the big dogs like Shearwater, and I mean, in a lot of ways, they do a better job than Shearwater. So if you are thinking about buying a computer and you're coming from the school of thought of, I want to buy a computer that grows with me, that as I get into, I'm a brand new open water diver, but I am falling in love with this thing. I can see myself in years from now or in months from now, depending on how quickly you move. I can see myself going into deeper depths, or perhaps in the future going into side mount or cave diving or rebreathers, whatever that may be. This computer can grow with you and take whatever type of diving you throw at it in your journey. So as you go through your journey, this thing will adjust to everything. So really, really awesome from Halcyon. Cannot say enough good things about it. So let's just dive right into the 3 things I like and 3 things I didn't like, to try to keep this as short as possible. So 3 things I like. The price. I really like the fact that it's cheaper or lower priced than its competition at the same level competition. Could you buy cheaper computers from Shearwater, cheaper computers from Garmin? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know if Garmin has a cheaper computer, to be honest. But from Shearwater, yes. There are some other computers, especially their entry-level computers like the Turn, for example, or the there's a couple of computers from Shearwater that are cheaper. And obviously there's other companies like this one right here was sent to us. This is from North Edge, called the Aqua computer. This is $160. So can you buy a cheaper computer? Absolutely. But those computers have compromises. You have to compromise on the fact that if you want to end up doing a trimix dive to 60 meters in a few years from now, 200 feet deep, those computers are probably not going to support that. Whereas the Symbios will support any type of diving that you do. I mean, this thing is solid. So the price, awesome. And the fact that the transmitter costs the same as the Shearwater transmitter, but you get a deal if you buy them both, $1,450. So only $250 for the transmitter rather than $400, which it will cost as a standalone, or the Shearwater one costs. You don't get a break with those. It's really amazing. So I really love the price for those level computers. The second thing I love about the capabilities, the fact that you can do open circuit, rec, recreational, open circuit tech, open circuit side mount. You can do also rebreather diving with this thing. And I will talk extensively about my experience diving this in rebreather mode because I dove it with the Dive Talk Go for 10 straight days. And it was outstanding. But go and check out that review because I'll talk about all the things that I really like about rebreather mode in this computer. It's awesome. So capabilities, great. The third thing I really like about the Halcyon computer is not actually the computer, is the app. The app that you install on your phone that interacts with the computer. And the reason I love the app is because we finally get a two-way communication between the app on your phone and your computer. One of the things that I didn't like about Shearwater, for example, and again, more of that comparison on the longer video, is the fact that the app is really a one-way communication. Like, yeah, there's a couple things you can do two ways, meaning you can send from your phone to the computer, like firmware updates and maybe changing the wallpaper on it. But nothing, everything else is you get dive logs from your computer and then you look at them on your phone. Like, it's a one-way type of communication. The Halcyon app allows you to do all kinds of stuff. Modify every setting on the computer. So like enter your gases in there, add your planning, modify your gradient factors, what type of diving it is, what kind of water it is. Like even the declination on the compass, the electronic compass, you can enter in there, which is awesome. Like I was going to Tampa for diving, for example. I just went on Google, put the compass declination for Tampa. It was like -6 or whatever it was. I don't know what it is. On the app, just put -6. Bang. Just my compass is perfectly, set for wherever I'm going diving. So it's really, really cool. And the fact that you can create your own, I call them dive profiles, but they're actually called library entries. So you can put them in a library and say, I'm going to this place or I'm going to do this kind of diving. So let's say 200-foot dive versus a 300-foot dive where I'm diving Eagle's Nest or the Oriskany or whatever. You can name it based on whatever you want. As soon as you press that, it will automatically load all those settings to your computer and your computer will be ready to go. Like how many of us, me in that pool, have to sit on the boat or the day before or the morning before, whatever, and mess around with the settings, changing the gases, changing everything, because the last dive you did wasn't what you're trying to do now, right? This is really, really big. So I love that, and I think that what they're doing with it not only is making it right for the customer base, for us divers, but also pushing the industry forward. So other companies have to innovate now and come with a response to what I clearly see as a preferred method of communication with your computer. So it's by far better than anything I've ever seen. Now, there's 3 things I don't like. So I didn't like everything about this computer, so let's talk about those 3 things. Number 1, the battery life. The battery life on the Halcyon Symbios is not great. It's not as bad as Garmin, and I promised I wasn't going to compare them in this video. I will get into more details with that later. But the fact that it's a rechargeable battery, and I don't know, perhaps the way the computer works itself with all the wireless communication and all that, makes the battery not last as long as I wish. If you're a Shearwater user, you know the Shearwater uses AA batteries. You put a lithium AA battery on that thing and it will run for approximately 87 years. I mean, I don't know how long. It goes forever. The batteries on these computers run forever and is a field replaceable battery. So you're on the boat, literally take the thing out, put a new battery in, close it, and you're good to go. AA batteries you can find everywhere. So that is one thing that Shearwater is by far dominating when it comes to features on their dive computers. The Halcyon with a built-in battery, much better than Garmin, so it lasts longer, but I still found myself having to charge it, I think twice perhaps, on the 10 days. Now, to be fair, I did not let the computer run all the way down. So don't kill me in the comments being like, I bet if you let it run to 0, you could have only charged it once. Who is starting dives with like 7% or whatever? Like that is super irresponsible. So the first time around, I just let it run to see how long it ran. I think I ran it all the way to like maybe 10 or 15%, something like that. And that took about 4 or 5 days, if I'm not mistaken. Again, take this with a grain of salt because the importance is not the amount of days, it's the amount of time in the water. And I was diving rebreathers. I was doing longer dives, 2.5 hour dives. So Perhaps for you, if you're doing open circuit recreational, you're doing 40-minute dives or whatever, it may last you 10 days. I don't know. But for me, my experience was it went about 4 to 5 days before I had to charge it. The second time around, I just let it come down to like 50% and then I charged it again. So it probably could have gone all 10 days with just one charge, ending the 10th day with like almost zero battery. It's still not as good as Shearwater, where you can go for years without changing the battery on that thing. So battery life, didn't like it. Also didn't like the charge, but I'll get into that on the longer review. The second thing, the attachment on the heads-up display. The heads-up display, by the way, a fully capable computer that sits right by your eye. That's why it's called heads up. So it's always right in your vision, kind of like in cars where you have the heads up display showing you your speed and all that stuff. So the heads up display, really didn't like the way it attaches to the mask and the way the computer is set up compared to, let's say, the Shearwater Nerd, which is their heads up display version and their direct competitor basically, is this one has to be a lot closer to your eye in order for you to see it. And because of that, there's not a whole lot of different mounting options. I feel like with the Nerd, you have more flexibility. With the HUD from Halcyon, the Halcyon Symbios, you don't have a whole lot of flexibility. As a matter of fact, you don't even have a whole lot of flexibility in terms of masks. They kind of ask you to use a frame mask, not a frameless mask like the one I use. So they send me a mask, and I'll get into details with that. I have it right here. I'll show it just so you can see that I have it. But I will talk a little bit more about the whole situation with the mask. It wasn't great on the longer video. But it's not easy to attach. It's not easy to set up. It's just a main issue. So I just didn't like the HUD attachment. I think they need to work on that. I'll get into more detail on the longer review. And then last thing is the strap options. So if you notice, this is how you get a computer. And in the box, there's no other straps or even bungee cords or anything for you to attach this. It's kind of is up to you. And I get it. We're trying to keep it simple. This is DIR after all. Halcyon is, closely connected with other DIR agencies like GUE. But this is what I end up doing with mine. This is mine right here. This is actually Woody's computer. Let me show you mine. I have right here. I added some bungees on it, and then you put that on your arm, whatever side you're diving at, depending on the type of diving that you're doing, and then you're with bungees. So here, I'm going to put it on the right just so you can get the full experience. But you can see, because I don't have a suit on, and I had a 3 mil in this strip, see the computer kind of wobbles. I don't know if you can see it, but it's very, very wobbly. Now, you can say, well, make the bungee shorter, and that way it won't be wobbly. But then if you do a 3 mil dive and then you want to do a dry suit dive 2 weeks later, well, now the bungees are way too small. Or if you're doing a 7 mil, then it's going to be killing you because the thickness of the suit will destroy, it would just be too tight. So that experience of strapping the computer to you, I wasn't a big fan of that. I think that, and perhaps this is coming in the future, by the time you're watching this video, it might be out. I would love to see some strap options for the Halcyon where I can use it with any suit. So here's an example. I showed this computer earlier. This is a $160 computer. This computer comes with removable straps. Check that out. How awesome is that? Now imagine if you took a strap like that, and look, there's already kind of an indentation in the back here. Like imagine if you put that thing right there, right? It's not hard to imagine. That is where the strap would go. Now, of course, this is not the right size for this, but like put the two straps so I can. I don't know. And I get it. I understand that the engineers and leadership behind this computer have a very simplicity-driven DIR mentality when it comes to diving. But I think it's important for a global customer base for you to understand that, okay, some people will prefer straps and perhaps offer that as an option. I don't think it's an option. I haven't seen it. I might be wrong. I didn't scour the internet for hours. Perhaps somebody else already made it. But it would be really awesome if we had a version with straps. And it already has the holes for the bungees. You could just fit like a long screw like the Shearwaters and have a strap there. I really feel like that was a miss. I would have loved to seen straps included or sold separately, I don't care, but an option for the Halcyon computer. There's not a whole lot to dislike about this computer. Bottom line is, I don't know how long I've been talking for. This is the short review, believe it or not. This thing is solid. I recommend anyone to strongly consider the Halcyon Symbios handset and HUD. Very capable computer. Again, second to none when it comes to capabilities. I cannot remember one thing that Shearwater does that Symbios doesn't do. And there are some things Symbios does that Shearwater doesn't do. And I think it's only a matter of time for the two of them to kind of catch up when it comes to features. But perhaps there's some things like gradient factor 99. I'm not sure if there are some features. I didn't go as far when it comes to the computer. There may be some features that Shearwater does that Symbios doesn't do. But honestly, this thing is solid. I would recommend it, unlike some other computers that I might be comparing it to on the longer review, which I'm going to leave right here. Go check it out. Thank you again, Halcyon, for sponsoring, not for sponsoring because they didn't pay us, but for sending us a computer for us to review. And I really love the fact that they reached out to us and said, hey, we watched that other review where you trashed that computer, trash ours. And they sent it to us, and there's nothing to trash. I mean, this thing is solid, and totally recommended. So we'll see you guys on the next one.